after the red card, we could not adapt to the situations. We gave away 2 very easy goals before half time, but even in second half was what went wrong, what could go wrong went wrong after the red card, and we have to accept a big loss today. So maybe hopefully it's a big wake-up call for all of us, me included.
Well, I'm delighted, not only winning but the style of which we've won. It's been coming a long time actually, but I've been talking about the lack of quality of our finishing and the lack of putting the ball in the back of the net in open play. And what we saw today was the perfect example of what we've been missing on all 5 occasions, I'd say. The quality of the build-up, the quality of the finish.
I just wonder, because we've never had an international break before. We've had 3 matches, so there's a lot of players have been playing for their countries, whether we're going to have a few odd results this weekend, and we certainly did. Look at that smile, but they were brilliant, weren't they?
Do you know, Mark, it was one of them games where you commentate on, and the more bonkers the game is, the harder, obviously, it is to try and commentate on it. But it was an unbelievable watch. There was so much drama happening, you know, from the manager's point of view, and they were picking their lineups in terms of what systems they were going to play. I was very surprised on the off when the teams come in and Thomas Tuchel went with 3 centre-halves. I know that's his preferred position, but I couldn't help but feel as though, why would you play 3 centre-halves again? He's going to be playing up front on his own, so he lost a man in midfield. Then the chaos and the drama and the goals going in, and Ivanovic coming on, doing his hamstring, going back off. Christian Pulisic got injured at half-time in the warm-up. Timo Werner might have been the player that was coming off, and then Mason Mount had to come on. Then more drama of the goals. It was an incredible watch, and honestly, I joked West Brom were like Brazil, but they were in the second half. Yeah.
People always ask
five could have been 7.
People ask me, who do you support? I've always supported West Brom.
Always West Brom.
Always supported West Brom for years.
The goals they scored were incredible.
And I know you're going to pick one apart, which is up there with one of the best team goals of the season, no question about it. Let's go through David Coote and his refereeing display, which I think was pretty good on the whole, wasn't it? Thiago Silva, the first yellow card, no question, it was a foul. Was it, Chris, possibly denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity? It's a straight red, arguably.
I think it possibly was, but was it clear? I mean, everybody was saying to me on Saturday, it's a red card, it's a red card. And when I watched it back, I mean, we're slowing it down now. I think there's enough doubt there to go for a yellow card for a shirt pull, because I think with Kurt Zouma in the screen, he just moves over slightly. I think there's a chance that he can recover. You can see now he's running to what
his favourite there, though, Chris, isn't he? His favourite. He's ahead of Thiago Silva.
I mean, hey, listen, I think if the referee would have gone red, I don't think it would have been overturned. But when I saw it back, and I thought to myself, yeah, I'm comfortable with yellow in that situation.
Yeah, I think the more you see it, the more I'm leaning towards a red. So I don't think he's getting goal side.
No, I think he's going to have a shot at goal, isn't he?
I think the referee, under those circumstances, I think he got that one about right. Yeah. I do. I think he could have gone red, and people would have said, yeah, fine. But I think on that occasion, I think he got that just right.
It doesn't feel like a blatant error,
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. He probably was, but it's a probably. You know, that's the one for me. I think he got that spot.
Well, we talk about players being away for international duty. He obviously wasn't. He's been injured. He was probably a bit rusty. Was it Russ's, which led to a second yellow, and he gets sent off? Was he just a bit out of rhythm?
I mean, he shouldn't be, because he's an experienced pro and he knows, you know, where Chelsea are at just before half-time. You win them 1-0. It's highly unlikely. You're looking at a team second bottom of the league, that's going to find its way into the top corner. So stay on your feet, put an orthodox block on. You get in at 1-0 up at half-time. They were cruising in the game, Chelsea, at this point. They probably come out in the second half and probably win the game 2-0. Then that red card then completely changed the game.
Yeah, you know, another one of what we talked about last season, which doesn't happen, and now is happening. Got his shot away, didn't he? And then... Is then cleaned out. Yeah. And I'm suggesting to you, 12, 18 months ago, goal kick, let's get on with it, but not now.
I think it's very difficult in that situation not to give him a second yellow card for that, because when you talk about reckless, that ticks all the boxes for reckless, because he's absolutely flown in. I mean, I'm interested on you talk about putting a standard block on. What should he do in that situation to prevent that from happening?
Well, that's a great angle of it. So the strike's going to be taken from outside the box. So when you're on a yellow card, you've got to make sure you stay on your feet. And when I say about putting an orthodox block on, if the shot's coming from there and I'm Thiago Silva, don't rush out to you to try and put the block on and then commit a foul. Just make yourself big. Stand there. Your arms might be a little bit wider, but if it hits your hands, I wouldn't imagine you'll get a second yellow for that. It would just be a free kick. And take it anywhere on the body, because players know when they're playing in games, there's enough clocks around the stadium on the big screens and on the scoreboards to suggest they're on 44 minutes or 43 minutes. You put a block on there, you go in at 1-0, they were cruising in the game. West Brom didn't really play great until the second half. They go in at half-time. Thomas Tuchel tweaks one or two things or stay the same. 11 v 11. They probably win the game 1-0, 2-0. Because West Brom had not scored, I think, 1 goal in 5. Yeah. And Thomas Tuchel had clean sheets left, right and centre. So before the game, you're thinking, there's not many goals in this game.
Instead, it all changes in stoppage time, doesn't it? The end of the first half.
A couple of goals.
I mean, literally, almost from nowhere, doesn't it? As you say, with that sending off and then first half stoppage time.
I mean, this should be defended properly. I don't know why Kurt Zouma has allowed the runner to get in behind. We've seen that too many times this season when centre-half switch off. I remember Ilkay Gundogan goal a couple of months back when he got in front of Davinson's chances, I think it was. So just go and head the ball. Take the ball at the highest, possible chance, the flight of the ball, take it.
This is really well taken, isn't it?
Oh, it's an amazing goal.
I thought the defending is terrible. It's so embarrassing. Look at the amount of blue shirts that Chelsea do get back. You'll see they get numbers back. But nobody does anything. Look at the 3 players. Alonso doesn't get close. Just really poor. And I think he'll be more angry at the way that his players defended the type of goal he's given away. It's just like they're just walking at Zuma's, a couple of silly mistakes.
I thought he got a lot of things wrong, though. Thomas Tuchel.
He did in his selection.
I must admit, in his selection. Yeah. And then Giroud sitting on the bench. And then, Christian Pulisic's got an injury, and you bring in like for like. Christian Pulisic and Mason Mount, two similar players. So nothing really is going to change unless...
So no way of getting up the pitch if you brought on Giroud to hold it up?
Play Giroud, but even before the game, when the lineups come in, and you see Timo Werner playing up front on his own, it was the perfect chance to go with 2 centre-forwards because you didn't need 3 centre-halves against Diania. So there was lots of things the manager got wrong in the game.
I don't know what I don't know what Giroud's done wrong. We all know he's a little bit older now, but I don't know what he's done wrong. How many times have we
said that? We don't know what he's done wrong.
We don't know what he's done wrong, but whenever he plays for Chelsea, he always does well. Whether that's not scoring and holding the ball up and bringing his team...
Unless he's resting for the Champions League game, but...
I can't see that, can you? Yeah. I can't see it.
The only thing I can give a fan watching on as an understanding why he might have rested Giroud, because he might have thought, West Brom, second bottom of the league, don't score any goals. We should beat these easy. I'll rest 1 or 2 players, put a few big guns on the bench.
He's found out a lesson about the Premier League, hasn't he, Thomas Tuchel?
Exactly.
Second half, Callum Robinson only ever scores against Chelsea, doesn't he? Literally, West Brom, before that Sheffield United, only ever scores against Chelsea.
I love this goal, because Dion will know this. It's the training ground move. You pass it into midfield, you work it out wide. Brilliant pick out from Furlong, and then the strike is finished.
Oh, dear me, that is... And, he has to finish it like that as well. If he runs onto that... He can't just finish that with his left foot planted on the floor. It's at the height where he has to get himself a bit higher, so he has to jump. And to put it that side of the keeper. Watch a little bit of bend on the ball as well.
I think the assist, Dion.
Oh, brilliant.
Because normally you're taught there, if you're Furlong, normally you're taught to sort of whip that across the 6-yard box. He's had the intelligence and his vision, and he's seen the shirt arriving from deep. Look at the technique. It's like you stab that with a sort of 3 or 4 iron.
Yes, he does. Keeps it quite low, doesn't he?
Yeah, you can see the revolutions on the ball. He's zinged it right into the path.
Great strike.
And doesn't try and hit it too hard, does he?
No, he sort of
guides it, really, doesn't he?
He doesn't need to.
Sort of taking it that way, sort of away and then in. It's such a great finish. The keeper's got no chance.
But he doesn't need to hit that hard because the pace is on the cross.
Yeah.
If that cross is a weak cross, then you're arriving on the edge of the box.
Sorry, everyone to watch his eyes. Right onto the ball, isn't it? He's looking at the ball.
He's getting into an area where he can see the white markings on the pitch. He knows where he is. He knows where the goal's not going to move. Good finish.
It's all the things that you can't really explain to a fan, but the biomechanics of what he's doing, even his left hand there, Dion,
correct.
It's suggesting that, look, I'm not going to hit this hard. He might be a little bit tense in his face. If he's going to smash it, everything's just nice and relaxed, and he just punches it in.
Yeah.
Brilliant timing. 4-1. Talk us through this. This is one of the team goals of the season, no question, isn't it? This is just like watching Brazil.
That was mentioned a couple of times.
Yeah, it was.
They looked amazing with their 1-2 touch sets, and it looked so simple. And Chelsea get players back. Let's get it right. Chelsea get players back on this occasion But West Brom here, the way that they pass, they move, the players, they get forward.
Keep an eye on the goal scorer. So you
There
talk
he
about
is.
players being fit and going box to box. He's gone more than that, Dianya. It's the
He's
hold
got
of play.
literally the length of the
But
pitch.
the hold of play from Robinson, you know, the cuteness. Pereira, the ball down the side. Connor Townsend, I just do a little back heel. Pereira, should I take the shot? No, I lay it on the edge of the box. Finish. It's, you know, it's like, you know, you look back over the last 10, 15 years of Premier League great goals, team goals.
Yeah.
This has to be in the conversation. Look
Definitely.
at this.
Look at that ball there.
This one here.
Yeah.
Back heel. Vision.
All that is, there's no way he can backheel that ball unless he gets a shout from Pereira. Backheel it. They'll have a shout for that. Backheel it. I'm here, whatever you want. And then Pereira goes like that. He's thinking he's on two. He's on two. And he's thinking, I'll just very, very aware of each other.
And he doesn't try to hit it too hard, does he,
Doesn't have
Dan?
to.
Just passes it in.
The goalkeeper's going
into the big side of the goal. You know where the gap is.
The goalkeeper's going that way.
Yes.
So he goes there. So the goalkeeper's going there, and as he goes up in the air, the ball goes past him.
Yeah.
He can't get there. Great finish.
Great finish.
Now,
Great
you
goal.
need to be a brilliant co-commentator to smell a match, to
Oh,
sense a
really,
match,
really.
to know at 4-1 that's not how it's going to end. Let's have a listen.
You still don't feel the scoring's finished?
No. Feels like a 5-2, this.
You don't get many in your commentary career. You don't get many. I'm trying to tell everyone on social media, I said that at 0-0.
You did, yeah, you did.
No, that was at 4-1. Because Chelsea had a little spell of like 5-10 minutes in the second half where the game went really open.
Yeah.
And at 4-1, you knew someone was going to score, but you had no idea which team. So you sort of knew like there's more chances.
And
there's
at
going to be more
4-2,
goals.
Chelsea came quite close to 4-3 on a couple of
They did hit
occasions,
the post.
didn't
I think they hit the post.
Yeah.
But listen, it was always West Brom. Second half, it was always going to be them. That's why I said it feels like a 5-2. It never felt like a 4-3.
No.
It never felt like a 4-4. You know, the reverse fixture was 3-3. It always felt as though watching the game, West Brom were going to get more chances than Chelsea because they had 11 v 10 and they were creating them.
So let's have a look at 5-2 then. Robinson again. This is a great finish as well, isn't it? Really clever finish.
Just very good. It's just really nicely good football, no panic, little wedge.
Yeah.
Keeper's got to go down at some stage.
Yeah.
Very, very few keepers will just stand big and
Zuma
not go
again,
to
runs
ground.
off the back of Zuma.
Yeah, again off the back of Zuma. He's onside. Again, he gets there, slows down. You can see he changes his feet. Sprint.
Goalkeepers have got to be a little bit smarter because when you're watching this and when you've been there like me and Dion have, that's the only finish that you've got. You know, normally when a striker or a front man goes through and you go, right, what's his options? He's got a drill, top corner, he's got the whip, he's got outside of the foot, he's got a trick, he might go through the goalkeeper's legs. When a player gets wide on the angle, the only finish in his locker is just a little dink.
Yeah.
So keepers have got to get wise to that, either stay on your line or stand up for that extra second or two.
Yeah, the goalkeepers that do the Schmeichels and the Siemens used to stay up really big, and their hands would be here.
Yeah.
And very rarely did they get dinked, which is why
great
keepers
finish,
got to have a
though.
look. Brilliant finish.
Let's have a look at the top of the table, because I think if you were Thomas Tuchel, a Chelsea fan, you're going into that game, let's be honest, West Brom at home, 3 points for us. This will cement our position. It's actually, and we'll obviously have a look at the other results soon and the other matches soon, but you can see how tight it is suddenly, isn't it? Maybe they're all battling for fourth. I don't know what you feel.
Well, Mark, I was having a conversation with the guy who works for Chelsea in the commentary booths, and I was sort of saying I wouldn't rule Liverpool out. And his words were to me before the game, no, there's too much traffic. There's too much traffic. This was before the game, so try and forget this for a second.
Yes.
And I went, well, yeah, but if... I didn't say, West Brom could win today. And I go, yeah, but Liverpool's running. If they put a run together, they can get there. But none of us thought that Chelsea were going to lose.
No, exactly.
So, in essence, what he was saying was, before kick-off, there was too much traffic. Leicester, Man United and Chelsea were obviously ahead of Liverpool, and they'd have to go on a run. But one weekend, everything can change.
I think because we'd given them the points already.
That's what I'm saying,
We had
given them.
exactly,
We'd
yes.
given them the points already. They'd already got the points.
Does it look to you, looking at that, as if it's between Chelsea, Tottenham... Well, if West Ham win this evening, of course, West Ham are fourth. So
Everton have they've had them 2 games in hand for like 10 years. So they've got to try and win
when they
some
come
of them
back next season, we'll have 2 games in hand, Everton, won't they? Yeah.
It's good.
I think anything can change from here down. Anything can change.
Top 2 stay top 2.
Yes.
Top 2 stay top 2.
So you think anything can change from Leicester down, do you?
Maybe. Listen, I still fancy Leicester to get top 4.
Yes.
But they might slip and someone might jump ahead of them.
So the only position that's going is 4th. Is that what you think?
Yeah. Yeah. One spot in there.
Okay.
I think realistically only one spot.
And running, if you're trying if you're trying to judge a running, Liverpool have got the best running.
Yes. And Liverpool, as we'll see, have got some form as well.